Hey, welcome everyone. I welcome you to this very special episode of Coach APM's Expert Talk Show. As you know, in this talk we provide very actionable and strategic career advice by bringing experts from different fields, very relevant fields for your career. The aim is, as I keep talking about, right, that the aim of this kind of talk show is to make you achieve your fullest potential. Today the guest is very special. Okay, he's a person who is not only a good friend, but he's also a known name in the digital marketing and especially in the consumer neuroscience domain. Do you know what is that? Okay, so he has been doing phenomenal work in that domain. So I got to know about the great efforts he has been putting in and getting good results there. And he is also a recipient of most popular digital marketeers award number of times, not once or twice. Okay, so he's a very good friend of mine, and I would like to welcome Ram Jalan in today's expert talk. Ram, here you are.
Hi Ajay,
Welcome.
thank you for having me.
Okay, welcome in this talk show, Ram. And I'm sure that today's session is going to be really rocking, because as usual, you always bring a lot of value wherever you go. So great. So without any further ado, as you all know that today we are going to talk about how to effectively use LinkedIn for jobs. Now, I didn't want to make it so transactional by just saying that how to use LinkedIn for a job, because it is much, the scope of LinkedIn is much beyond that. But as Ram, you know that many of my company members are working professionals, especially in IT domain, and they keep coming back to me asking this question that how they can leverage, and they have been still using the same old methodology of going to different companies' website or using some portals like Naukri and all to get hang of it. And I keep telling them LinkedIn is very powerful. Why don't you use that? So I thought, why not to bring you here who knows the depth of it. And before you start talking, Ram, let me just tell you to everybody that it's not about increasing your followers and likes and comments. It's all about how you strategically use it for your gain with respect to your professional gain, your visibility to the right audience, not becoming like a influencer, the typical influencer kind of. So that's the aim here. Okay, Ram. So I would give it to you, and I will keep bringing some questions to you as and when I come across them. Uh, Please, you can begin, Ram.
Sure, thank you Ajay. If you can, yeah, thank you. I'm assuming that everybody can see my screen, so I'll just move ahead. Good evening,
Yep.
everyone. Thank you for taking out your valuable time at 8 p.m. on Saturday. First of all, kudos to Ajay for planning such an initiative for such a interesting audience, which is typically revolves around career enhancement, life skills, professional skills. So very important. So without much ado, I would like to jump into the topic. I'm sure you all, or we all of us, always look forward to a career enhancement. Whether we get a call from a recruiter, so that's a divine day for us when a recruiter calls and says, "Hey, you are interested in a job." Otherwise, we also keep posting our profile and updating our profile on job portals. Now, this was a scenario till 15, 20 years back, at least 15 years back. Then came LinkedIn into India, and the entire paradigm of recruitment of people or recruiters searching for candidates has tilted and shifted towards conversational recruitment. So, what did LinkedIn bring in? LinkedIn not only brought in a platform for individuals to share their profiles, to share individual credentials. It also brought in a very important element in the journey of recruitment is networking. So 90% of our conversations on a social media platform or 90% of LinkedIn questions are not actually around career, are not actually around being an influencer. It's primarily around having the right network. And you all must have heard this saying that network is the new net worth. And network is not the one where you keep pinging that individual for a new job opportunity. Network is all about being connected, being visible, interacting. So, friends, it's very important that you don't use LinkedIn only for your job search. We would discuss about the important caveats to it, important points around using LinkedIn for the right purpose. But yes, I would definitely focus more on how to use LinkedIn for job search. But plus plus is also important, how to become a thought leader in your category.
Ram, if I
Now
can just
moving.
Ram, if I can just intervene here, I think you have mentioned a very important point, and I want everybody to take a note of it. Ram mentioned that don't use this platform just for applying for jobs and reaching out to people that you want a job. Don't act like a desperate guy looking for a job. And Ram and I, we were talking yesterday that the best time to network is when you don't need it. So as Ram is rightly mentioning that you need to be visible to the right audience, and that is what Ram is going to try to tell you that how you can do that and which will eventually get you a job. Is it right, Ram? Yeah,
Absolutely, Ajay. Thanks
great.
for bringing that point up. Now, first of all, whenever you use a platform, a social networking platform, see, friends, while it's a great tool, it is a lot of power. Therefore, you have to be sensitive about how are you placing yourself in that powerful engine. You don't know how the algorithm will catapult any message that you are putting out there. So first define your purpose. What's going to be your purpose of being on LinkedIn, and create a strategy around it. So to confine our conversation to the perspective of looking for new career opportunity. So let's say we want a career related goal to be fulfilled on LinkedIn. We want to manage our career. We want a job change. And for that, it's important to have a personal branding. And to do personal branding, people should recognize you as a brand. And that can only happen when you are networking. And when you are networking, which means you are also collaborating. See, the social karma is a very, very crucial thing on a platform like LinkedIn. You cannot be a loudspeaker. You cannot be, you know, just talking your thoughts out. You need to collaborate and exchange your thoughts on other people's thoughts as well. So, how can LinkedIn help if your strategy is around the 5 points mentioned in the first column? LinkedIn can help you find jobs. LinkedIn can help you find and connect with your next boss or a decision maker in the organization you dream to join. Third, LinkedIn can help you showcase an expertise of yours. Important, you show your company profile, talk about announcements, groups, discussions. See, one thing, friends, I see, gentlemen, I see lacking. It's not a negative word, but let's be cognitive about it. We ourselves don't share content about our company. See, unless we talk about our own company where we are working, it's not going to help us. So it's important we talk about and share good things about the place we are working in. Sixth is it's a powerful search engine. So use polls, use survey tools, and use search judicially. In next couple of slides, I'm going to show you how do recruiters discover candidates. And seven, find prospects. Prospects in terms of people, prospects in terms of job opportunities as well. So as I said, typically, if you see how does a recruiter search for an ideal candidate? So I was just doing from the recruiter portal a simple search. I'm looking for a data scientist for one of the projects, right? So when I'm searching for a data scientist, I'm looking for various skills. The person should be knowing R, the person should be knowing Python, SQL, Java, machine learning, data segmentation, etc. Must have worked on AI related projects. I have those skill related filters. Then I have filters related to location of the individual. Am I looking to recruit people from India? Am I looking for people outside India who can work with me remotely? So if that's the objective, then I can use multiple filters. This is not all. If you move ahead, you would see tons of other filters that's there for a recruiter to narrow down to the right set of candidates. Imagine in India, if there are 35, 40,000 data scientists right now, what is the probability of you appearing in a recruiter's filtered search? So it's important that you are configuring your profile. You are maintaining your profile in the right way for the job you are aiming to go for. Like, for example, different search filters are the postal code of the candidate, the education, the experience, the projects the person has worked on, the company, and then you have multiple advanced search options that a recruiter typically uses to keep narrowing down. So I was talking to a recruiter who is currently searching for a merchandising scientist for one of the fashion e-commerce portal. I never knew that a position like that also existed. So a merchandising scientist is a person who works on colors, fabric, etc., for the products that's being sold on the e-commerce portal. Now, for a typical merchandising scientist, they would be looking for people from fashion designing institute with data science capability. So can you imagine, out of those 40,000 people, what is the filter that they are going to narrow down to, and the permutation and combination? Therefore, your profile should be able to deliver micro search capabilities. It should not be too macro. You need to talk about exact level of things that you are working on, that you have worked on in your career through different ways that we are going to discuss in next set of slides.
Uh, Ram,
Yeah, Jay.
if I can ask, like on behalf of others, that what? Let me just see if I got it. You are saying that exactly the keywords which employers use to search for the people like the prospective employees, we need to put those keywords in our profile while talking about us, or maybe giving the details about our what is the jobs, whatever we have been doing. That is what essentially you are saying, right? Right.
Absolutely. So suppose I'll give you an example, Ajay.
Yeah.
If I am a product manager and I develop products, then not only I need to talk about the technologies I work on, I also need to talk about the technologies I interact on with the development team, with the business team, with the finance team. So if requires CRM data, I also need to mention that in my product management ecosystem, the structure, I'm also
Got it.
using the CRM data and the related technologies there. So if I'm using Microsoft Dynamics, if I'm using Oracle CRM, then I need to include that I'm working on Oracle CRM to build a product.
Got it. And are there, like, for example, you mentioned about this very new term which even I was not aware of. So, what is the best way to find out exactly what my recruiters would be probably looking out for? One thing is that whatever I am doing, put it this that in with a lot of honesty. Whatever I know that I will just put it all the technologies, all the soft skills, everything. But other than that, what else we can do to find out the exact terms which employers would be putting in while searching for the relevant candidates?
That's a great question. So, LinkedIn search encapsulates everything. So, suppose for this profile, one of the search terms that the recruiter came up with is a sustainable fabric expert.
Okay.
So, which means a person who has worked on fabrics beyond cotton and a
Hmm.
mix of that, because polypropylene and polyester is not environmental friendly, it generates heat.
Hmm.
So, you want somebody who has done R&D on fabrics.
Hmm.
So then you look for people in NIFT, you look for people in National Institute of Design or Maharashtra Institute
Hmm.
of Design,
Hmm.
etc.
Hmm. So, if I can put it like this, suppose somebody is working on business intelligence, then it is not sufficient to just put BI or business intelligence. It is important within that, whatever you know or wherever you want to explore, whatever field you want to explore, put that in some right context. Don't stuff it there, but put that in a properly with proper context. That is, I think, essentially what you are talking about, right?
Absolutely, because recruiters look for people not with only relevant skills,
Hmm.
but application of those relevant skills. How are you
Hmm.
applying your business intelligence portfolio for
Got it.
my kind of business, for my kind of organization?
Got it. Got it. Fair enough, Ram. I think, yeah, great.
Now, so how do recruiters decide to even look into your profile? So these three parameters are the most important. You know, do I know you? Or do I know you through first degree of connection or a second degree of connection? Do I like your profile? Do I like you? And do I trust what you are writing on your profile? So it's very important to be trustworthy, to be correct, and to be fair in what you are putting out on that public platform. See, it's absolutely okay if you have not done, if you're early in your career and you have little to write. It's absolutely okay if you have had break in the career. It's absolutely okay. You are not sure how to put out the content. That's okay. It comes with practice. But do a staggered approach. Make your profile trustworthy because everyone evaluates everyone before calling it a business. So let's look at the first actionable. So accuracy of information. See, it's very easy on LinkedIn to come to your profile and check who you are and who are you connected with. Because as per data, 90% of people on LinkedIn are connected to more than 5 people in their current organization. And among those 5 people, if someone is your boss, if someone is your manager, then it's very easy to check and get your feedback. Right? So accuracy of profile is crucial. Let's look at two profiles here. Pretty large about us section. One is Katrina. She is a senior software developer. Another is Matthew, who is a chief product officer at one of the big organizations. Now, if you note their profile or the about us section, Katrina is very humorous in her approach. Look at the first line of the text. I caught fire coding. And then straight away, go to the last paragraph of the profile. I'll just give you a minute to just read Katrina's profile.
Ram, I'm afraid if people can really read it properly because the text is quite small. So if you can read it for everyone. Yeah.
Okay, so you can note the name of the person and go to her profile and read it later. So Katrina says, I'll just read out for you. My specialties include quick learning new skills in programming languages, problem solving, etc. And then she straight away talks about the programming languages she has worked on and the frameworks she has, expertise in. So there are two things she is doing here. One, she's talking about her career journey, career path. Second, she is bringing a bit of humor. And third, for the LinkedIn search engine, she's mentioning all the technologies or the frameworks or the languages she has worked on at the last paragraph of the profile. Now, if I am searching for an SQL JavaScript expert who has worked on Python, I'm sure we would be able to see Katrina coming up in search, right? Similarly, if we go to Matthew's profile, Matthew has succinctly spoken about the business scalability that he brings. So in terms of the first paragraph, he writes, I can successfully scale up software business from $5 million to $1 billion in revenue. That's a great talking point. Second, he says, I can align, lead, and grow world-class product teams from 10 to 100 people. That's again talks about his team management capability. And third, he talks about, I educate, refine, and drive myself to be a better person. That means he is a constant learner. So if we see Matthew's profile, he has clearly mentioned while he has professional skills in various fields, he is also a team player. He is a person with a lot of business acumen and he is a growth hacker. Aren't these three things a recruiter is looking in you? It is. So therefore, if you mention that emphatically with brevity, you are bound to be discovered and read. Right? Yeah, please feel free to put your questions in the chat box. I'll be happy to stop and answer in between.
Uh, Ram, there's a question which I can see. It asks that it is good to know that these things can be searched on this LinkedIn platform, but I'm not sure how to really find out what all to put. I think this is the same kind of a question which I was asking you before, that people want to know exactly what all need to be put here. They are good at their work, but they struggle to really find out the relevant keywords. I think that's some same question somebody's asking.
Okay, so let's take an example. I mean, if we have a real life example, I'm happy to take that. Say if somebody is um, an expert in data science, that's the most compelling field right now. So if you do a simple search on data science on LinkedIn, you will find plenty of hashtags, plenty of profiles coming on top who are ranking on simply the data science keyword. Go to their profile and see what content they have written in there about a section that is making them rank.
Yeah. And can we put it around like this, that when there is a vacancy in a company, most of the companies which are like quite decent one, they will always come with a JD, job description, where they mention
Yes.
roles and responsibility. I think that could be also one area to find out exactly the keywords the company is trying to search for. That could be one more area. And as you rightly mentioned, it is also good to browse and see what all hashtags and other things which are trending, which are in demand, that also can be put to highlight your profile. Right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's a great idea to look for top companies. What are they putting in their JD
Yes.
as one of the requirements from the candidate?
Correct.
So that would give a lot of idea to
Lot
what
of
what to
ideas.
put in your own profile. Just be careful about one thing. I have seen. See, why did I choose these two profiles? If you see, they don't have any grammatical error. The sentences are very short. I have seen some LinkedIn profiles with some very interesting English.
Yeah.
So let's be careful that the language we put out, we check on a free tool like Grammarly.
Yeah.
So I
Or get
recommend
it,
Grammarly as a tool. Just copy and paste the content.
yes, and get it checked by some of your friends who are good at it. So you can get it
Absolutely.
checked. Yeah. I think just one more idea was popping up in my head while you were speaking, Ram, that not only the JD or hashtag event, suppose some like you are quite known name in consumer neuroscience. So if I go to your profile, I can find out keywords from your profile. So if you know somebody who's really great at data science, BI, machine learning, or whatever, right? You can go to those interesting names and see how they are, what to say, getting populated on top for some search. So just see that their profile and try to get some, do some modeling, get some influence through those profile and just put it in your profile. That could be one more way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have a lot of thought leaders across categories in your own domain. So
Yeah.
just search for them and do copycat in
Correct.
a different
Perfect.
avatar.
Perfect.
Because
Perfect.
keywords will be same for all professionals.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Second important actionable is, you should be locatable. So if I like your profile, I'm getting into your profile, it should not be a disappointment that I'm unable to locate, where you are in your industry, which location are you in. So please always be sure that your searchability of your profile is always there. Have the right photograph, have the right name properly written. And in the first thing that a recruiter sees on your profile is where are you currently located and what are you currently doing. So these are the four important questions that came to my mind, which I also follow is very crucial. That, who are you helping when you do your job? Please don't write you're helping your boss. You're not. You are helping a goal or a vision or a mission of a company. And it's very important to know your company's mission and vision. Yeah. Second, what's their main problem and how do you help solve it? Again, not your boss's problem.
Yeah.
What's the barrier in achieving those missions? If typically a mission is created on annual basis, a vision is for 5 years. So if there is an annual operating plan of your company, you should be knowing that AOP and how are you contributing in solving those problems. Third, what is the impact of you doing your job well versus not as well? Feeling of importance. आप कितने important हो, how important you are. It's good to know your importance. And lastly, which is incorrect to this, if you didn't do your job, what would happen? It's always good to say that how important a person you are and how important your function is. So one of the questions I'm getting, how to ask for referral for the job. See, I'll just answer that question, Lalit. So it's very important that you ask referral from a person who is in your circle of influence. Don't connect with someone to seek a job referral. And as Ajay mentioned in the beginning of the conversation, that you should network when you don't need it. So that when you need that network is available to you. So ask for referral in your first degree of network. Go with confidence and tell them you need a job. See, we have to be sales people in our career as well. We have a fear of door getting closed on our face. If I need a job someday, I'll go ahead and say, hey, I need a job. Can you help me? And that's the time to see the influence of the other person in your life. And then you can create a list whether you can go to that person next time for a job or not. Maybe he does not have that influence. You go to somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's the way to ask for a referral for the job, Lalit. I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Yes, I think absolutely beautiful, Ram. So what essentially Ram is saying that first of all, have principles that don't network as a desperate person, but don't think twice asking for help when it is needed. So network for networking, but ask for help when it is needed. Don't feel shy about it. And I'm really great, Ram. I really love the last slide which you did show, and I would like to take 30 seconds time to just really dwell on it. And beautifully, like this is one problem that I think some of people, even Lalit is one of our community members only, Ram. He works in one of the known companies in Faridabad. So basically the thing is that what Ram has essentially mentioned through that particular slide is that don't get into the tactical part of your work. If you are a tester, just don't say that, okay, I test, I get codes written by the engineers, I test them, I find out bugs and report bugs. You are doing much better than that. Rather than saying that you find out bugs, you can say that I ensure that we deliver bug free products to the customers. Okay, do something. Like it's not like you are not saying anything wrong, you're not lying, you are just doing what you are just saying what you are doing, but you are putting it in a proper perspective. So I would like everybody to please take a screenshot of it, absorb it, chew it completely. Okay, this thing, most of you guys, those are working professionals, all of you are good at your craft, but this is where I see many of my students, they lag there, and I keep telling them, please try to articulate properly what do you do. You are not there just to do some transactional work. You are a very important piece in the whole puzzle. So just try to emphasize on your work, right? I think this is just, I wanted to say this. It was like boiling inside my what's the stomach the moment I saw this slide. Thanks for bringing this, Ram. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure. No, it's very true. These are very important points to rediscover ourselves. And one of my gurus, my bosses used to say, so these questions have been there with me for last 20 years, Ajay. And
Yeah.
he used to tell me every 6 months, look back and answer these questions. And if you don't get answered, it's time to change your job.
Correct. Yes,
So
yes,
that
yes.
is very, very crucial.
That's right.
Now, so just to answer, to highlight some of the points here, I'm again putting up certain profiles. Let me try to zoom in if that helps everyone. Okay, so if you look at these profile, see Annie, she has worked with 5 companies which there on top of her LinkedIn profile, and see the way she is immaculately mentioning relevant details about her role in the company. She first introduces the company very briefly, and straight away she gets into what did she do in that company. See, everybody, your job becomes replaceable the very day the organization feels that they can save some money, or that job function can be automated. Till the time you can emphatically say that, hey, you need me still because I add so much of value and revenue. Like, for example, Ajay gave a very interesting example of a tester, a QC expert. Whether you are doing a black box testing, whatever testing you are doing, you should mention the amount of time you saved in releasing a faulty product, the amount of customer service time you saved in getting customer complaints. So mention those points. Go to the testing report, get some data points from there, and publish with what can be published in the public domain. Second, look at Shurujit. He left Flipkart to join Coinbase. Fantastic fellow, great coder at heart. He drinks, sleeps, codes, and now he's become a venture capitalist and an angel investor. But he keeps on talking about the right way to code, the code hygiene, how to data structure, how to plan your project, how to do project management. He has become a influencer now over a period of time because of his great profile and work, which you all also be. But it's important that we keep putting the right content out. So what are the things that you can put on your profile? One, what industry you belong to, and how is that industry growing? Talk about that industry. Your current position with description, which we have already discussed in a couple of slides ago. Mention at least 3 positions. See, other thing that I see in LinkedIn profile is there is a wide gap. You updated your LinkedIn profile in 2010, you forgot about it. Suddenly you woke up during COVID and started updating your profile. There is a gap of 3-4 years, and you just have mentioned 3-4 positions in 15 years of career. It's not possible. You need to complete your profile. What is education? Don't hide your education. Whatever college you have from, it does not matter. Gone are those days that only the top 5 or top 10 colleges used to get recruitments. Mention your education. Mention skills. Skill is one of the highest indexed algorithms on LinkedIn. Uh, Tags on LinkedIn. The LinkedIn algorithm tags all the skills and delivers on a search result. Develop your connection. Less than 200 connections, your chance of getting discovered is reduced by more than 60%. So very important to have. Ideally, I wanted to write 500 connections. I don't want people to spam others and get blocked. That's why I wrote only 200 connections. Don't get tomorrow morning and start sending connection requests to 100 people. And when you send a connection invite, write a reason that why are you wanting to connect with them. So these are important for finding a job, because this is how you will get, appear in the search result page. Impactful. How do you make your profile impactful? First is the right headline and summary. Have a great headline. I'll show you an example of a headline of one of the marketers in the industry and the summary on that headline. Second, what does your profile communicate? As I said, don't be too macro. Get into being micro as well. Your social consciousness. How are you socially active on LinkedIn? How are you engaging? How are you talking? Are you writing and commenting on different posts or not? We Indians, I'm honest, are very conjuice, very miser when it comes to writing comments and liking posts.
Yeah.
I like it, I keep quiet. Either I copy and reuse it, or I don't. I read it and just forget about it. Please don't do either of them.
Brutally
If you
honest,
like it, appreciate. Sorry,
I'm saying you're brutally honest here.
I am. I am, because I also face the same dilemma.
Yeah.
You are a brand, and you should ask yourself that yes, I am a brand and I should behave like a brand. And how would a brand behave on LinkedIn? So think that way. Think thoughtfully. Value proposition. What are you bringing to the table? See, I know companies don't encourage consulting work in parallel to job. I'm not advocating that. I also love recruiters and HR people. But when you're writing what's your value prop, somebody might ask you for your help. There are tons of startups around. And if you're an expert in your field, I might call you and say, hey, I need your help in I'm working on a data structure where I'm unable to get the data out of the system. Can you help me work on, do a data set on Tableau? So be open to those projects. You can inform your company, you can inform your manager. That's very personal. And then seek recommendation. Again, tomorrow morning, don't start asking recommendation from your boss and ex-bosses. Plan your recommendation request. See, I'll tell you about myself. I'm very miser. I can't go out and tell people and ask for recommendation. I can't. It's not in my behavior. But I've started doing it, because if LinkedIn works in such a way, I have to do it. As they say, if you're in Rome, be like Romans.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
go out and ask for recommendations wherever needed. So let me show you a profile. So Rahul, uh, he is a famous YouTuber, and he left Facebook job and he wanted to create a video out of it. And then when he left Facebook, he made it talk of the town. That why did he leave Facebook? And what were the reasons he did not continue with a very big brand? So, content like this. He became an entrepreneur after leaving a job at Facebook. So he created a story around it. And see the level of engagement. It was a candidness. We usually make our ex organization enemies like our ex girlfriends and boyfriends. Please don't do that. If you have served in organizations for more than 1 year, even for 9 months, 10 months, keep a relationship. Your referral checks will happen from there. You don't never know your first degree or second degree of network will be connected there. So maintain that relationship. Now look at the first one. The way this gentleman Frederick Kettner has written, company owner, writes the name of the company and guest author at Weka Media Editions. So if you are part of a product group, if you are part of a big um, knowledge center, if you are part of the R&D of your company, if you are working on a project on the side hustle, mention that. Again, this is something that gets indexed, that is gets searched. So LinkedIn algorithm travels top down on your LinkedIn profile. It first sees your name, it then sees what have you written under your name, and then it sees the location, the number of connections, and then it starts going down. And if you are a professional who is also doing consulting, then you should write what are the services you are providing. So there is something called a creator mode on LinkedIn. Start using the creator mode on LinkedIn, because on the basis of the services you provide, you can put out content through creator mode. I think you need minimum 500 connections for that. So once you develop your network on LinkedIn, all these options will start opening, which is for a large number of connections. And friends, very important thing, the number of followers is not equal to your social influence. Please search something on Google, that is social selling index on LinkedIn, and then log into social selling index from your LinkedIn profile. It will tell you what is the score of your profile, what is the influence of your LinkedIn profile among the people in your network. It's very important to have a social selling index of more than 70% to even come in the top 2 pages of the search result. So if your SSI is less than 72%, you stand no chance. And if your influence in your network is very weak, then also somebody else will stand taller than you. Ajay, you are saying something?
No, nothing. I just want to emphasize. I think this is one parameter probably not many people would be aware of. So, guys, you can easily search for SSI, and as Ram rightly mentioned, that don't really get trapped in the thought of increasing your number of connections in LinkedIn. What really matters is the quality of the number of connections you have got. And if your SSI is less than 70%, it means your searchability or the selling factor of your social profile on LinkedIn is really needs a lot of work. So just get into that, and it's not a rocket science, as Ram rightly mentioned, what all parameters you need to have. Just fill in those parameters properly, and your index will go up. More you'll engage with people, uh, more genuine engagement you will show, and it's like a very natural algorithm. And somebody was telling me, Ram, 2 3 days ago, very beautiful thought, that Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, all these companies have evolved so beautifully now. If you look at this digital media probably, or platforms, probably 10 15 years ago, there were a lot of churning happening at that time. So sometimes these companies were updating some codes, and somebody was leveraging on some particular loophole and getting top on the list. Now more genuine you become, more original content you write, more engaging things you do, automatically it goes up. So even if you are not aware about the tech part of it, the tech part of LinkedIn and other platform, you can still leverage it based, if you are very authentic and genuine person. Like all of us are doing that. Means we have not got any training on this. We are just using it for our own business. The way LinkedIn thinks, we should use it. It's like a very human way of doing the things, right? Yeah.
Absolutely, that's a very valid point, Ajay. Now, if you look at the profile of Nadia, while she has a great PR value of being under the Forbes, Forbes 30 under 30, she's very clear about what she's doing, that she's building the next generation of consumer insights. See, friends, there is a lot of space to write content here. Around, I think you can write 3 to 4 words. So if you, and which is around 20 characters, 20-25 characters. Use this space judicially to introduce yourself wisely. The next actionable on our list is your profile engaging? So as I say, the two most engaging powers of a leader is to make new things familiar and familiar things new. Even if you think that everybody is talking about artificial intelligence, I'm sure, given the experience you have in the day-to-day work you do, you have something extra to offer to your audience. So look at that. That's something that can bring paradigm shift in the minds of your audience. And your social value, your social selling index is not going to be built in a week, in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It'll take you months. Please don't run after followers. Let followers come after you when they relate to your content. Don't try to write clickbait. Don't try to write content which is not relevant, but engage with your audience. That's the shortcut to building a great LinkedIn profile. Like, for example, Brad. So, if you look at Brad's profile, he is clearly mentioning award winning experiential marketing professional, helping the global marketplace to connect their brands with consumers. So, he is very clearly mentioning that what's his credential is, what is he rewarded for, and why is he here on LinkedIn. So, three things. What is his accolade? So, that builds trust. What is he, what is his specialty? So that builds likeliness. And lastly, he's here to help global brands to connect with the global marketplace. That is the intent. So your executive summary of your profile should mention all these three important things. And if you see the summary, it's long, but it captures all the essence of his business goal of being on LinkedIn in different small paragraphs. So you can refer to such folks in your industry to carve out your own summary of your own profile. So it's like an online resume. It's a value-based headline. It's a large network he's looking at. He writes 2-3 paragraph summary with call to action. He highlights accomplishment, and therefore he's driving the SEO on LinkedIn. And the LinkedIn profiles are also indexed on Google. So if somebody's searching for people on Google with uh, especially mentioning that he's looking for people on LinkedIn for certain profile, then again, there are chances of you appearing on Google through LinkedIn as well. Now, if you see LinkedIn, these are the places you can update your online profile. For example, the certifications. I know I respect ID professionals because they are next to doctors. Like doctors keep on studying and upgrading themselves about medicine, about formulations, about new illness, viruses. You ID professionals keep upgrading yourself about new technology, new version, new code update, new algorithm, new languages, etc. And therefore, you go for many certifications. Please don't shy away from putting out those certifications on LinkedIn. Second, very important point is also mention what are the honors and awards you have got. Even if you have got the best performer of the month, put it out. Imagine if there are 100 people in your department, you were the performer of the month. It's a great achievement. Look at the probability of others aiming for the same achievement. So put that out as well. Third, always have the first line, which is around 10 to 12 words, very clearly defining what is there in detail when I click more. Because when a person sees your profile, he's just skimming, he's just scrolling down. So he sees first 10 to 12 words in your profile before he clicks on the more button to read rest of the content. And in skills, as you see, put in as many keywords as possible. These keywords you will get from LinkedIn search. Look for, so suppose you're looking for product management, you're looking for quality tester, you're looking for data scientist, you're simply looking for a programmer, you're looking for a graphic designer or a game developer or a web developer. You will find a lot of associated keywords around that. Or you can do a simple Google search that what are the most popular hashtags or skills on LinkedIn for a product management expert. And there will be a lot of links that will tell you what are the skills that you can use for a product manager. And then you match it with your own skill and put it out on LinkedIn. That's another shortcut I can recommend you at this moment. Another actionable for all of you today, and very, very important, is please look at an option on the LinkedIn search called the groups. So when you're looking for healthcare jobs, when you're looking for technology jobs, you will find a lot of groups where the jobs are listed. And more than jobs listing, these are the groups of professionals from a particular industry. Look for groups that have large number of participants, number one. Also look for groups which are pretty active. So when you search for groups, you will see a text that mentions very active, active, or dormant. So go ahead and join only the very active groups related to your industry and start interacting. As I said, have your social karma, have the social currency up and up. And one thing I realized, I was speaking to somebody some time back in Flipkart, and this gentleman is working on one of the technologies which is on the data science. I don't know the exact field. So Suresh told me that, Ram, I got my job at Flipkart when I was interacting and giving solutions to people in various groups. And I did not have the intent of getting a job at that moment. Since I am so knowledgeable, I'm talking about Suresh, I thought, let me solve problems for others. So I started interacting in group. Somebody was asking me questions on Hadoop. Somebody was asking me questions on data structures. Somebody's asking questions on artificial intelligence. Somebody's asking questions on machine learning. I'll go out and just answer those questions. Even I have to research. So two things happened. I became a thought leader. Second, in the excitement to answer questions, I did my own research.
Yeah. That's correct. So you're rightly using the phrase social karma, that you are helping others and probably you are putting efforts to help others. You don't know the direct answer. You are just trying to find out an answer to give answer to a question. So that karma is coming back to you in another way. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. And that elevates you in your journey for getting discovered for a suitable job, for the next job.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, if you had thought before joining this session that it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 four steps to getting the next job on LinkedIn, sorry, I think there is no 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to be ready for your next job on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And that's where, be rest assured, you will get your next job if you're following these steps.
Yeah, the shortcut to get a job through LinkedIn is to stop looking at the shortcuts and go for all these advices which Ram is giving. The good work which you are doing. It's not only job. You will get so much of highlight. And I don't want to boast about what Ram has achieved and I have achieved. It's not about the number of followers and like and comments. See, it's a very good thing which that I breathe, eat, and sleep all this stuff throughout the day, throughout night. I can tell you one thing: many people will not comment on your post, won't like your post, but they appreciate it in their heart. And when they meet you, they talk to you, they mention about it. Okay, so just don't do something for getting all this stuff. You will get what you deserve. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah.
Well said. That's very important. We usually get bogged down. कोई like ही नहीं करता, कोई comment ही नहीं करता. So
Yeah.
don't get bogged down. People will not. but they will respect you when you meet them face to face. That where do you get these thoughts? Where do you
Yes.
get these ideas? How do you get time to read?
Yeah. So only segment which I think need to care about like followers comments is the segment of influencers. Okay, so the people who want to become or they are influencer in this domain, that is their basically KRAs. Okay, so they need to take care of it. So we are not influencer, and I hope you the people who are watching it are not influencer. They are working professionals. Their growth metrics is different. So put efforts according to your KRAs. Don't try to find out KRAs of others and try to put your efforts all over the place. So don't spread yourself so thin that you become a papad. Okay, so just try to be very focused on your efforts, and your KRA should be very well defined, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Ajay, with your permission, you raise a very interesting point. I really want to put some thoughts on it. The influencers on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So, in my recent conversation with a large B2B IT organization, I can't name them.
Hmm.
So, they wanted to do an influencer marketing campaign on LinkedIn. So, in during the conversation we were having, we asked them that what is the level of influencers you want?
Hmm.
The brief I got, the
Yeah.
direction I got is please don't look for influencers who
Hmm.
have more than 30,000 followers and very active.
How? Why? Yeah.
Why? Because if these influencers have risen from 1,000, 2,000 followers to 30,000 followers in last 12 to 15 months, it is impossible to reach that number unless you
Hmm.
are putting in a clickbait content or a content which is not relevant to your own DNA.
Hmm. Hmm.
They would have followers, they would have likes, but they would not have social influence that we are
Hmm.
looking for our kind of products and services.
Hmm.
We look for genuine people who are doing a lot of research, who are well read, and who are putting out content maybe once a week, twice a week, but very thoughtful and relevant content.
Hmm. Got it. Makes sense.
Because we
Makes a
want
lot
to,
of.
yeah,
And see, if you do good work and in return if you get likes and comment, we should you should love it. Okay, but
absolutely,
don't do something for the love of like and comment. That's the point.
absolutely. That's very crucial.
Great, yeah. Oh, we have reached. Thank you. Okay, very nice. Any last words, Ram, for these the whole concept which you discussed today?
See, my parting thoughts on this would be that let's engage. And I think you have a very good cohort today in this session. The starting point could be this cohort interacting and talking and building their own profile and coming back to you how their experience has been and
Absolutely.
taking your guidance, because that's the best thing they can do right now, because this conversation is at the moment, in the moment.
Absolutely, Ram. And I love the whole conversation. See, typically, I could have invited anybody, any influencer on LinkedIn also to come for this. Means you know that it is just about like I can ping them and they can be here. Why I really chose Ram, and I am not saying this because Ram is a very good friend of mine and we keep meeting and talking. Just because I knew that if Ram is going to be here, he will not talk some superficial stuff, and he has been keeping busy. Still he took time out to create this presentation just for the audience, for you guys. Okay, so it would be a really, if you really want to show your gratitude to Ram for this time which he has given here, please implement whatever he has told. Okay, just saying thank you. And you know that I never ask for, okay, please like button, please what is it, please put comment. You never find me talking about all that. I will love if you do that, you shower your love. But the real gratitude would be if you implement whatever he has mentioned. Starting like when he started talking about social karma, I really love this phrase of social karma, focusing on your search options, being yourself, being genuine, strategic versus technical information, social selling index, plethora of information he has given in such a concise manner. And you would be not doing justice if you're not implementing it, if you're just listening it for the sake of it. um, God bless you still, but please implement it. Okay, please commit yourself that you will do this. Changing headlines, all that stuff. Give timeline to yourself. Don't sit on it. I know you would be keeping busy starting Monday with your usual job. Allocate 1 hour tomorrow or tonight, and then in the coming week you just allocate 30 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes even every day, just to go to the relevant people's profile, interact with them, get in touch with them genuinely. Do it genuinely. Like in your life, you want people to be genuinely interested in you. Same way, people on LinkedIn also don't change. Humans are humans. Everybody wants a human interaction, okay, genuineness they need. Thanks a lot, Ram. It was a really great value. I also learned a few new things today, and I love this. And I hope that whenever I will invite you next time to come on this show to talk something more, because I know you have got a lot of things to share with us. You will not deny, and you will be humbly agreeing like this time you agreed.
Absolutely, always a pleasure, Ajay. Thanks for having me here. Lovely interacting with the audience today. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks a lot, Ram. Thanks a lot, everybody. A good night. Enjoy with yourself, with your family, with your friends. Have a wonderful life. Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Great weekend.